Welcome to the Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Bangura, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me today. This podcast is for ambitious women who work in property and construction who want to learn how to have a career they love on their terms. Join me every week where I'll leave you excited and confident to take your next steps. Thanks for being here with me. Now let's get started. Hey, thank you for being here on the Building Up Women in Property podcast. It is, as always, great to have you here. Today, we are talking about the opportunities to become a leader in the property and construction industry. Now, as you know, I am passionate about seeing more women in leadership, and I often talk about the doom and gloom of our industry, the boys' clubs that exist, the mansplaining, the assumptions around the roles that women on site need to play, and the overall structure of the patriarchy. But the truth is, we have the highest levels of female participation in our industry that we have ever had. Now, it's true, we still have a very leaky pipeline with a lot of women actually leaving the industry at that sort of mid-career point. But we also have opportunities abound as women in this industry because organisations now have an economic imperative to actually have more women in leadership, to have more diversity, more inclusion, more representation across all levels of their organisation. And this is being driven by governments and big organisations and consumers alike who are demanding this of organisations, of companies, and they are voting with their dollar. They are taking their business elsewhere when they see those old, white, stale male leadership teams. People aren't interested in that anymore. There is a very real shift that is happening in society right now. And the good news for us as women in this industry is it does create that opportunity. And I think that we are at the point where if you want to step up as a leader, it really is there for the taking. But the catch on that is you have to actually put your hand up for it. And I spoke about this in the last podcast where I was sort of exploring the fact that just being good at your job doesn't mean that you are necessarily going to get the promotion or the next opportunity. And we all know that because, let's be honest, we can look around us and see so many smart, capable women who are not getting promoted, who've been in the same role for a while despite their obvious abilities. And similarly, we can often see people who have been promoted who, frankly, aren't that great at their job. And we wonder why they keep getting these opportunities to progress when they aren't the best in their field. And I think what determines progression opportunities is the desire and the willingness and the courage to put your hand up and seize the opportunities. Now, I know that's easy to say and it can be terrifying to actually do, but the truth is, until we are willing to step up and say, this is what I want, nothing will change. And we need more women to put their hands up, to step forward and ask for that seat at the table. And doing that requires us to step out of our comfort zone. We need to be willing and courageous enough to get uncomfortable and ask for the opportunity and to trust ourselves that we will figure out how to do the role. Because typically women wait till they meet all the criteria before putting their hand up and applying for the role, whereas men don't do that. Men are much more likely to apply when they meet some of the criteria. And the result is they threw their hat in the ring and they get the opportunities. And I think ultimately we need to get clear on what we want. We need to actually reconcile with ourselves that we want a leadership role. We want that promotion. We want that opportunity to have more impact and more influence through the work we do. And there is nothing shameful about that. And so often I see women cowering away from that desire. They question, can I do it? Is it for me? Is it something for other people? Am I worthy of this? Am I capable of this? And the truth is, anyone can be a leader. Anyone. Leadership skills are learnt. They are not inherent. They are skills that you learn. They are around communication. They are like anything, something you can learn if you have the commitment and the desire to do it. And fundamental to that is deciding this is what you are going for and actually committing to that decision and trusting yourself to keep improving and getting better. And the crucial step to that is owning what we want. owning that next role or that next role after that, or that big vision that we have for ourselves, for our career, and for the impact we want to have in the world. Because once we decide that's what we want, we can free our mind up from all the drama of overthinking, should I do this, shouldn't I do it? Now, don't get me wrong, our brains are going to come at us with so much drama around that decision. Our brain is going to tell us we can't do this. It is going to question our abilities. It's going to challenge our worthiness. Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all of these things are going to creep in, probably on a daily basis. But nothing has gone wrong. That is what our brain is hardwired to do. It is hardwired to protect us. And so long as we are in one position and we are desiring something else, our brain is constantly grappling with how we will achieve it. And it will grapple with that until we are in that role and we are succeeding. Our brain's job is to protect us. We will have those feelings of self-doubt. We'll have questions of worthiness that constantly come up. Imposter syndrome. All of these things are a natural and a necessary part of the growth process. And when we put our hand up to step into that next role, to step up as a leader, to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, it will hurt. It will be uncomfortable. There will be growing pains. And the truth is, we will screw up so many times. Right? We will fail and fail and fail, and we will say stupid things and we will do silly things, and we might be embarrassed by some of the things that happen. But that is the same for anyone that is learning something new. And stepping into a new role requires you to grow. And it's actually that growth process that makes good leaders. They are the people that are willing to take the risk because they have that vision. And they are inspired and fueled by the outcome that they are trying to achieve. And that keeps them going. And that's why they commit to this uncomfortable process rather than staying in their comfort zone.
I hope you've been enjoying the episode. I wanted to take a moment to let you know about my free Career Confidence Masterclass. This is for ambitious career-orientated women who are ready to stop playing small and to confidently create a career you love. Head over to my website, beautifuldisruptions.com, for more info. Now let's get back to the episode.
And when we decide that we want to take this step up, it requires us to let go of who we are right now and start living into that new identity of who we want to be. Who is that leader? Who is that person? What kind of leader are they? How do they show up? And the sooner we can get clear on that in our own mind, the easier it becomes to step into that role. And the truth is, for a long time, it might feel like we're pretending, that we're trying to be someone that we're not yet. But here's the fundamental thing about being a leader is a leader is not about having a certain job title. It is not about a particular role or position or compensation package. Being a leader is about inspiring people, taking them on a journey, and achieving outcomes. Being a leader is about taking people on a journey with you. It is about creating a vision and then bringing people with you to achieve that vision. And the truth is, anyone can do this. You can be a graduate, first day out of uni, and you can be a leader. Anyone can be a leader in any position and at any age and at any point in their career. And the sooner you step into being a leader in your existing role and embodying that person, the sooner you will move into that role that has the leadership title or leadership responsibilities. But it starts with you where you are right now, deciding that's what you want and that's who you're going to be, and putting your hand up for the opportunities, showing up, being in the arena, getting your hands dirty, making mistakes, growing, learning, improving. This is all part of the process. It is all part of the leadership journey. But you need to not wait for someone to tap you on the shoulder to be a leader. You need to show up as that person right now. In your career and in your life, take ownership of your outcomes and then work towards creating better ones. Expect it to be uncomfortable and work through that process. Work through that self-mastery. Expect it to be difficult. Expect that the journey will be hard. You will screw up on the way. You will be learning constantly. There'll be instances where you feel embarrassed, where you feel shame. All of these things are normal and they are a necessary part of becoming this next version of you, this next evolution of you where you do have more impact, more influence, where you are that respected and valued leader. But it all starts with you deciding that's what you want and putting your hand up for it. And stop playing small. Stop hiding or waiting to be called upon. You need to put your hand up for the opportunities in front of you. And as I said, there are so many opportunities if we are courageous enough to go for them. And if we are compassionate enough to ourselves to allow ourselves to grow into these roles, to allow ourselves to get things wrong on the way, and to keep working forward to improve and get better and better as we go. Because that's what will see us moving from one position to the next and continuously evolving to be better and better leaders. And in the process, you'll be inspiring your colleagues and up-and-comers in the industry. And it starts with getting out of your own way. It starts with letting go of the thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you, and instead stepping up into the person you want to be, stepping into your power and owning that future that you want to create, and show up as that leader right now and put your hand up and start creating that future that you want. Okay, lovely. Have a beautiful day. I will see you next week.
Thanks for joining me on the Building Up Women in Property podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, I'd love for you to take a moment and review the show if you found it helpful, or share it with a few friends. Thanks again, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.